Hey folks, Dale Davidson. Hey, this is video 2 of our PACT Act updates. So let me get right into it. So let's talk about Persian Gulf War veterans. So if you're a veteran of the Persian Gulf War, you're entitled to health care for medical conditions that were related or possibly related to your exposure to toxic substances or environmental hazards during your active duty service in the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations during the Persian Gulf War. So if you served on active duty between August of 1990 and November of 1998 in that area, then you're eligible for hospital care, medical services, nursing home care for any disability, of course, unless medical evidence is insufficient to conclude that your disability was associated with your service to the Gulf War. So again, there's always an exception to the rule, okay? Again, just like Vietnam era or radiation risk activity exposed folks, okay? You don't have to any co-pays. You're not responsible for third-party billing for hospital care, medical services, nursing home, and medications prescribed on an outpatient basis. So you're covered, you just got to apply. And remember, you don't have to apply for disability compensation, but you got to apply for the medical part. And then of course you're going to go through the toxic screening, okay? So, were you a combat theater veteran? If so, the Veteran Programs Enhancement Act of 1988 entitles you, including if you're National Guard, you're included too, and the Reserve, who served on active duty in a theater of combat operation during a period of a war after the Persian Gulf, to enroll, so you can enroll in VA healthcare during a certain period of time. Okay, now those, I'm not going to go over the history of the time frames. Just know that it's been extended for up to 10 years. Okay, so if you served in the Persian Gulf War and received the Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, the Service Specific Expeditionary Medal, the Combat Era Specific Expeditionary Medal, or a Campaign Specific Medal, or any other combat medal, you're eligible. So there are a list of priorities with returning combat veterans, and they are a priority 6. Just like Vietnam era radiation exposed veterans. So if you're a combat veteran, Persian Gulf, if you're a combat veteran, you're eligible for hospital care, medical services, nursing home care for any illness associated with your exposure, of course, unless evidence is insufficient to conclude that your disability is associated with your exposure. There are a lot more to these priorities, and we'll be doing a video later on those different priorities. So, were you a veteran who participated in Operation Shipboard Hazards and Defense Project 112 test? If so, and the dates for this are between 1962 and 1973. If so, you may be eligible. So this is where the Department of Defense planned and conducted chemical and biological warfare tests at the Desert Test Center in Fort Douglas, Utah. I call these the guinea pig tests, okay? So the testing program known as Project 112 included shipboard and landing based testing. So they called it SHAD, S-H-A-D. So the Shipboard and Hazards Defense, SHAD. So according to the Department of Defense, SHAD was designed to test ships' vulnerability to biological and chemical attack. And so if you were invited in one of these guinea pig tests, I'm saying invited, I know you were invited, you were ordered, you may receive hospital care, medical services, and nursing home care for any illnesses without requirement of service connection. Again, there's no co-pays for third-party bills, for hospital care, medical care, nursing home care, and medications in an outpatient basis, prescribed on an outpatient basis are all taken care of. Again, you don't have to apply for disability compensation, but you got to enroll in VA healthcare. Okay, last one. Camp Lejeune Veterans, the Honoring America's Veterans and Caring for Camp Lejeune Families Act of 2012. This act established a presumptive service connection for veterans' healthcare for one or more of 15 diseases and healthcare conditions that may be associated with exposure to trichloroethylene, tetrachloroethylene, vinyl chloride, and other contaminants that were discovered in the drinking water. So I guess they were just dumping stuff out the back door there. So, and this, of course, happened at Camp Lejeune. So not only the veteran, but the family members who worked or lived at Camp Lejeune for no less than 30 days, they got to be consecutive or non-consecutive. You just add them up, okay? If you were there from August of 1953 to December of 1987, you're generally eligible for VA healthcare services under this law. It's for veterans and their families can receive free healthcare for any one of the 15 covered illnesses or conditions. So in order to be qualified or eligible, you or your active duty or reservist or a member of the National Guard, you must have been stationed at Camp Lejeune or traveled to Camp Lejeune as part of your professional duties. You must have served on active duty for at least 30 consecutive or non-consecutive days from August 1953 to December 1987. Okay. Now, what are some of these covered illnesses? They include esophageal cancers, lung cancer, breast cancer, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, leukemia, multiple myeloma, myelodysplastic syndrome, renal toxicity, hepatic steatosis, female infertility, miscarriages, and other issues too. So if this video or the previous video applies to you, what do you need to do? You don't need to apply for disability, although that would be a good thing, okay? First thing you need to do is check your eligibility, okay? Visit the VA's PACT Act page to determine your eligibility. Immediately enroll in VA healthcare. If you're eligible, enroll as soon as possible to access services. You'll have to go through the toxic screenings and all that, but that's okay. File a claim. Submit a claim for any presumptive conditions to receive benefits, okay? And all of this, you'll have to get your toxic screening. But look, better be safe than sorry. If you think you've been exposed or you have any one of these conditions, get help today. Hey folks, thank you for tuning in. Look, the PACT Act is a long time coming, and I hope it's just the first of a step that our government's going to take to help our veterans address their healthcare challenges because of their exposures during their service. But hey, check out this video, this first part of our two-part series here to give you some updates on other areas. Until next time, be blessed.